One. Alright, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be covering the Melissa virus. I am Nicholas Kukal, your presentator for today, and you can call me Nick. I actually covered this virus because I thought it was super cool. Um, it uses what you call VBA macros or Visual Basic Macros, which I've worked with in the past. I had to use them this past summer to automate some Office products, and it's actually a pretty nifty tool. But when it gets in the hands of a bad actor, you can do some pretty nasty things with them. So let's get into this and see what the Melissa virus really is. What is the Melissa virus? So as you can tell from this picture I have right here on the left, the Melissa virus used the use of email, um, and it attached a Word document to the email itself. And with the use of these, oh, hold on, I really want to use this pen right here. With the use of these Office macros, right? He would place a virus within the Word document and attach that Word document to an email. And once he sent that thing out, oh man, that thing just spread like wildfire. It spread so much that it caused. Oh, hold on, we gotta use the pen again. That it caused. Oh, hold on. Let's get this thing working here. $80 million worth of damage to company servers and email servers, and a lot went towards Outlook because that's the email platform that he used to cause the damage that he did. So let's move on and go a little deeper into the backstory of what this virus was. So here's some background. This guy here on the right, this is David L. Smith. He's the dude who wrote the code for the Melissa virus. And honestly, I think he's a pretty funny guy. We'll get into that later on in the project. But this Melissa virus, it happened in 1999, so back in the day. And I mean, it infected tens of thousands of computers within hours. I mean, this thing struck and it struck fast. And it struck so fast that it fell under FBI investigation, right? I mean, you'd imagine something that does $80 million worth of damage. I mean, that's going to catch some eyes. So I feel like if it's going to catch anybody's attention, it's going to get the FBI's attention, and they're going to hop on it and take it serious. Um, so yeah, the guy David L. Smith here on the right, when he got caught, I don't know if he was telling the truth, but he told the FBI, he said, "Look, I didn't think that my virus was going to cause this much damage. I only thought it was a harmless joke, right? Um, but I don't know. Like, look at the eyes of this guy. I mean, that's just the eyes of a killer right there. I mean, you never know what he was up to. But if that was a harmless joke, I honestly would hate to be a friend of this guy because if he threw a joke my way, I mean, he'd probably blow my computer up with some sort of virus. I don't think that's funny of a joke, but or that funny of a joke, but um, last little bullet here, only sentenced to 20 months. So when Smith went to trial, he was actually going on for 5 years, is what they're going to send him off for. But they agreed that if he were to kind of help the cybersecurity community fend off viruses, then they would shorten his sentence to 20 months, right? And I thought that was pretty cool. It's kind of like a type of scenario where, like, if they finally caught Batman and took him to jail, and then the Joker ended up doing something and the cops couldn't do anything about it, they let Batman out to be like, yo, we really need your help. It's kind of like the same thing with this dude. He was so good at hacking and did so much damage that, yeah, he may have caused a lot of damage and problems, but the FBI actually kind of wanted his help to help them understand the new cyber threats that were out there. All right, so let's talk about the bait. This is a virus that you had to download and you had to open, but what really got people to open up that Word document that had that virus in it? Well, let's get into the meat of it here. First off, he caught people's attentions with this little subject right here, right? here's that document you asked for, don't show anyone else, winky face, right? So they're using kind of provocative promises to kind of draw people's curiosity. And you know, if I were to get an email like that today, I would immediately know, and I would assume most people would know not to open up that document. You know, anything with a provocative promise like that um, definitely seems like it'd be a virus. But back then, it was kind of like the first of its kind, right? So you know, that's going to catch people off guard, and they're going to think they might take it for its word and open it up, and boom, next thing you know, your computer's got a virus on it. What I think was super genius actually in this attack was that if you were to look at the subject line, this picture's not the greatest example, but what the virus was designed to do is it was designed to go through the address book of whoever's computer it was opened on, and it would take the top 50 or so people and send it out to them. So when you receive this email with the virus on it, you're receiving it from someone you knew, someone you emailed often. So that's another way he kind of baited people into opening up his virus. And you know what? It's just kind of a spectacle of social engineering right there. It's pretty smart thinking, if you ask me. All right, so let's get into the meat of this because I'm really a geek for macros. I had to write a lot of macros this past summer, and I put a lot of time into writing them. They're very helpful. They're very annoying. You get really mad at making macros because they're written in a very old language. They're written in Visual Basic. You know, Visual Basic works like most programming languages. However, it's a little bit of a nuisance to work with. I'm going to be honest. You'll get real aggravated working with it. It's a little confusing. But like I said, it works like most programming languages. And if you're watching this presentation right now and you've done some coding before, you can kind of take a look at these notes on the right. This is the source code that was actually written. There's a little bit more below, but I kind of grabbed the main parts here. So let's look into this and kind of understand how this virus was coded. So one thing about Visual Basic is if you look right here where it says dim, that stands for dimension. And that's just basically your way of declaring a variable. So he was declaring his variables here at the top, you know, setting up some objects. He actually used the Outlook object, right? It's an object you can use with Visual Basic to kind of get a handle of that email, and that's the object he took advantage of to actually send out those emails and get his hands on the address book. And here you go, you got your an if statement here, you've got nested for loop going on right here. Um, so what this little for loop right here does is it goes through the address book. If you see right here where it says addresses, right? It goes through that address book and it takes the top 50 like I was saying, and that's kind of how he programmed it to get those close people on the address book so that people would be more trustworthy. So that's kind of how the code worked. I thought this was kind of funny right here. If you look right here where it says set break them off a slice. At first I thought that was Latin, but it's actually saying like break them off a slice, kind of like that Kit Kat commercial where it's like break them off a slice of that Kit Kat bar. This is one's kind of like it's kind of like break them off a slice of that virus so that they can get like fired and lose their job because they clicked on an email that said something along the lines of find hot singles in area. It's definitely this guy had a sense of humor when he wrote this, so I could see why he would say that was a harmless joke. I thought that was pretty funny though, but yeah, if you look around, break them off a slice of that, break them off a slice of that, break them off a slice of the Melissa virus, you know. I thought that was pretty funny how he put that in there. But anyways, let's move on. Um, so impact and prevention, right? So this virus led to a lot of prevention tactics put into play, and I see that our presentation is going on for 9 minutes now. I'm dragging along a little bit. Um, but there's a lot of security stuff that was kind of put into place in reaction to this virus. And it's actually pretty cool. There's one security feature that you can see today that is a direct response to the Melissa virus, which was over 20 years ago, which I think is pretty cool that you can see this exact example that was literally put in place due to the Melissa virus. And it still sits here today. And you can look at this right here. If you look on this Word document, there's macros on it, right? So what Microsoft decided to do was say, hey, people can do some bad things with macros, right? So whenever there's a macro on a Word document or an Excel document or anything like of that nature, we're going to just automatically assume that they want it off because you never know what could be in that macro. So now if you look at the top right here, right, security warning, macros have been disabled. So it always, always, always is going to prompt the user and ask them if you would like to enable macros or not. And if you don't trust the document, don't, because that'll keep you safe, especially if someone's wrote a virus. But I thought it was pretty nifty how that little yellow bar at the top right there, that is literally a piece of history. I mean, that was put there just for the specific purpose of preventing stuff, and it was put in there because of the Melissa virus. So I thought that was pretty neat, little fact to end off the presentation with there. And so here's my references. Most of these kind of overlap, like the story, what happened, and then if you look at the ones that say Excel and VBA, you can actually look into those, and they'll show you how you program a lot of stuff, kind of like how he programmed the Melissa virus. They're like three little things. I kind of separated them into the three parts you would need to make a virus like that. But yeah, that's my presentation.